if you're a Shiba Inu holder, it might hurt a little bit, but I want to share the truth with you. And note that I am still bullish on SHIB, and I think that it can have a nice move to the upside. And honestly, I think this move is coming sooner rather than later because of historical data that we need to look at in this video. But we also need to look at some of the troublesome historical data. And it's kind of around this conversation of, if you invested $1,000 in Shiba Inu 5 years ago, how much would you have today? And some of you guys might know because you might be holding five years worth of Shiba Inu. And some of you guys might not. And you might be surprised with how much that $1,000 invested 5 years ago into SHIB would be worth. We need to talk about it, but also lay out kind of the bull case for SHIB. And so I'm going to share as much info as possible with you guys on this as I kind of see it right now. And see, I just refreshed the prices. Yesterday, Bitcoin was at 115. Now it's down to 113. Shiba Inu is still our second largest cryptocurrency, and it's sitting at rank number 22. And Pepe is sitting at rank number 29. These are the two that are, I think, kind of the most close watch to. Is Pepe going to flip SHIB? People are kind of wondering if that's going to happen. Well, we'll talk a little bit more in this video. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. This is the Crypto Report, and check out the affiliates in the link in the description down below, my friends, if you want to do some trading and check out some of the sign-up bonuses. There are some there for you in the description of this video for Bit2Next and Blowfin. Rank number 22, Shiba Inu's really been lackluster in this cycle, but the truth of the matter is that altcoins have really been letting people down, arguably, in this bull market. The best moment we've seen for altcoins was back in December and November of 2024, and Shiba Inu did have a pretty nice rally, a nice 217% gain. But if you look at the same moment for Dogecoin actually had a much bigger rally. It went up 451%. Well, why didn't Shiba Inu go up as much as Dogecoin? Well, I think, there's a ton of meme coin competition. I think that meme coin market got oversaturated. You, of course, have the fart coins and the SPX 6900s of the world and all these other bonks and you name it. And, of course, the biggest competitor, Pepe, which is just a few slots behind Shiba Inu in its rank for overall position in crypto. At one point, Pepe was actually an $11 billion market cap, which is more than the current market cap of Shiba Inu. I do not believe that Pepe flipped Shiba Inu. If it did, it got close, but I don't know if it actually did flip Shiba Inu. I'd have to look back at that specifically. But why was Shiba Inu struggling to have the kind of performance that Dogecoin does? Well, Dogecoin is certainly number one, and Shiba Inu's number two. So Dogecoin got a better performance because the competition, all these other memes that came out of the blue, Pepe, and you name all the other ones, right? They presented more competition to Shiba Inu than Dogecoin. But can we still be bullish on SHIB? Can it still have a monumental bull run like we've seen in the past? Well, I do think that it's possible. And you can go back to October of 2023 to February of 2024. We had a nice 626% move. So we still know there's Shiba Inu buyers out there. Granted, this was kind of before the massive meme coin mania. And I would argue that right in this moment is when meme coins, I've never seen more of them launched than ever before. The president launched a meme coin, which stands as competition. So if you go back and you look at this story right here, how much you'd had if you invested $1,000 in Shiba Inu 5 years ago. I want to hear what you guys' guesses are in the comments down below. I'll give you 1 second to do it, but then I'm going to zip right to it. The answer might surprise you. If you had invested that $1,000 into Shiba Inu 5 years ago, that would only be worth $1,650 today. Now, you might be saying, well, okay, so if I had invested $100,000, then it'd be worth, what, $165,000? It's not too bad. Yeah, but I mean, I think when you're looking at Shiba Inu, you're going to realize that versus the S&P 500, the S&P 500 outperformed Shiba Inu. That's kind of a mic drop moment and kind of a harsh reality. The S&P 500 outperformed the meme coin that so many people think are going to get them rich. Now, people have gotten rich on Shiba Inu. People have gotten rich on Dogecoin and so many other meme coins out there, Pepe and many, many more. But does Shiba Inu have some kind of massive money-making run ahead of it? Well, I think there's a possibility that it has some really nice gains ahead of it. But I don't think it's going to be to the extent that we've seen out of Shiba Inu in the past, where you can invest $1,000 into it and become a millionaire. And that's why they kind of do these stories of these. If you invested $1,000 in Shiba 5 years ago, a lot of people think they can invest $1,000 into Shiba Inu and become a billionaire. Why do people think that? Well, because what most people do, unfortunately, is they go over and they look at the price of Shiba Inu and they go and they say, okay, Shiba Inu, it's at 0.00001 pennies. Okay. If it goes to a penny, I'll have $100,000. If it goes to 10 cents, then I'll have $1 million. And if it goes to $1, well, then I'll be a billionaire because I invested $1,000 in Shiba. These are the kind of things that people think, and that math didn't math for you guys, but that math doesn't math no matter what. Like, I don't believe $1 Shiba Inu personally. Could we go to a penny? I talked about that yesterday or the day before. You need to have 75% of the supply burned, and you need people to realize that Shiba Inu is the second largest crypto and maybe get these other meme coins out of their mind. But the most important thing for Shiba Inu is an altcoin season, and we're just not seeing that moment yet. But I do still think that there's hope, and I talked about this in my Dogecoin video earlier. There was a point where Bitcoin dominance in 2020 into the 2021 peak rallied to the downside. Bitcoin dominance crashed, and altcoins started outperforming Bitcoin. But we have not seen that yet. We've had these two nice little moments, and these are the two rallies that you've seen for Shiba Inu, okay? Shiba Inu didn't really rally that much in this last one, actually. It only kind of went up a little bump here. You can kind of see that. But it's not that big move that everybody's been waiting for. So are we going to see Shiba Inu be able to get back to these previous highs? I do think that it is possible, guys. Now, what happens if Shiba Inu gets back to its previous highs? That's a 641% gain. That's over a 7x on your money. I think this is spectacular. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shiba Inu do a 10x in this bull market. But if I'm a Shiba Inu holder, am I going to be waiting for a 10x on Shiba Inu? I don't know if that's the wisest thing to do. I think it's, first of all, meme coins are highly speculative assets. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but we just talked about it. Shiba Inu has a lot of competition. Dogecoin, the number one, is getting an ETF. Shiba Inu is not yet. One day, I think Shiba Inu can. Again, it's the second largest cryptocurrency, but it's not getting an ETF yet. Well, the most important thing we need to look out for to get that Shiba Inu rally, whether it's to the previous high, slightly below the previous high, or a 10x past the previous high, is you need to see Ethereum get a true breakout here, and we are right now struggling with that $4,000 level. Now, the good news for Shiba Inu holders is that we are in that moment where Bitcoin is towards the top of the bull market. That's good news and bad news. The good news is that we've only been in this rally for 980 days, call it, and historically, these bull markets from the lows to the highs last about 1,070 days. So if you go 1,070 days from the lows, you're looking at October of 2025. That gives us a few months to get a big rally for Shiba Inu. Is it possible? Well, Bitcoin dominance is already broken down. What you really need to see is Bitcoin dominance continue to trickle to the downside, and we do have a catalyst that could help that happen. It is Fed rate cuts. We got a 90% chance right now that the Fed is going to cut rates. Historically, that is the catalyst for an Ethereum pump. That is a catalyst for a Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and everything altcoin pump, at least the ones that are going to pump. And I think that Shiba Inu is one of those. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I like to trade cryptocurrencies. I like to trade Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I like to trade some of the larger coins, and Shiba Inu certainly falls into that category. If you guys want to do some trading for yourself as you're waiting for these big moves to the upside, or maybe you want to do some trades as it's going up, you can sign up for Blowfin or Bit10x in the description down below. You can trade the markets on their way up. You can trade the markets on your way down. That's the thing I like about trading. But I do also believe the DCA HODL method, and I don't think that it's over for this bull market yet. Personally, we got Fed rates coming. Fed rate cuts coming. That's a pretty good catalyst for a potential altcoin season, but you got to keep an eye on Ethereum for that breakout. That is all I have for you in this one, guys. I'm Crypto Kip. This is a Crypto Report. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, DCA HODL, my friends. Of course, I will see you in the next one. I got 2 videos right here if you want to check them out. Until next time, guys. Peace.